My name is Luke Walsh and welcome to February's Edie TV News. We'll be taking a look at plans by a local council to use the energy from cremating dead bodies to heat a local swimming pool, author turned anti-litter campaigner Bill Bryson's plans to force railway companies to tidy up their litter, a report claiming families living near petrol stations could be exposed to more hazardous chemicals, the top 100 business emitters in the UK, Energy Secretary Chris Huhne's comments on feed-in tariffs involving large solar panels, and we'll be having a look at plans to make Belfast into a wind turbine hub. Firstly, we're looking at one local council's plans to use the energy created from cremating dead bodies to heat its swimming pool. Leader of Redditch Borough Council, Carol Gandy, told Edie earlier this month that it was keen to investigate what must be a world first, with plans to run pipes from a crematorium to its new swimming pool it's building in the Abbey Stadium Sports Centre complex. The Conservative councillor also said the authority was looking at all options, believes the cadaver to heat scheme could save 42% of the energy which would be needed to heat the pool. Mrs Gandy said the responses from residents had so far been very positive. She also said if the scheme went ahead, alternative sources of heat would have to be used at quieter times when the cremation services were not in use. Bill Bryson, the author who made his name with a special take on Britain's landmarks, has hit out at the state of litter in the country. The president of the Campaign to Protect Rural England says he is frustrated with the filthy state of many of England's rail stations, railways and sidings. The campaigner and other campaigners says he will look at taking out litter abatement orders that can force public land managers to keep their land free of litter. Although Mr Bryson says the rail companies are not the only offenders, he personally will be seeking a litter abatement order against Network Rail. We'd like to point out that Network Rail says, as one of Britain's biggest landowners, it removes thousands of tonnes of rubbish from its land every year. If reported, it aims to remove litter within 20 days. Now, would you live next door to a petrol station? Well, if a report by Spanish academics is to be believed, you certainly shouldn't. According to the study, air at petrol stations is contaminated with emissions from evaporated vehicle fuels. Airborne compounds, such as benzene, were found at much higher densities next to garages than in areas of high traffic density. Co-author of the study, Martha Duval, said some airborne organic compounds, such as benzene, which increase the risk of cancer, have been recorded at petrol stations at levels above the average level for urban areas where traffic is the primary source for emissions. They found the average distance for pollution to travel was 50 metres, but even up to 100 metres the levels were potentially harmful. The study concluded that petrol stations should be built at a minimum distance of 50 metres from houses and 100 metres away from hospitals, healthcare centres and schools. A report claiming to be the first to chart the emissions of the 100 biggest companies in the UK has been published this month. Insurers and B-Sky-B were among the best performers in the first chart of 100 of the UK's biggest emitters. The results, which were released at base in London, were compiled by the Environmental Investment Organisation, a non-for-profit research body. Leading the top 100 are insurers Amlin and financial services giant Aviva, with carbon emission intensities of 1.21 and 1.36 respectively. Others ranked highly are British broadcasting giants B-Sky-B, whose intensity of 6.69 places it fourth, followed by energy services provider AMAC at 8.31. The worst performer of the UK's biggest 100 companies is Rangold, a gold mining company based predominantly in South Africa. Energy Minister Chris Huhne has launched a scathing attack on large-scale solar farms, claiming they soak up funding meant to help communities green their homes. According to Mr Huhne, there is growing evidence showing large-scale solar farms could soak up money intended to help homes, communities and small businesses generate their own renewable electricity. However, the Minister also said, when talking of the comprehensive review of feed-in tariffs, he will also pave the way for fast-tracking planning of the same big solar parks and farm-scale anaerobic digestion plants. Belfast Harbour has announced plans to build a £40 million, 50-acre logistics space where Dong Energy will assemble wind turbines. If the deal is successfully signed, it will make Belfast one of the UK's leading renewable energy hubs. Over the next 20 years, it is expected that 11,000 new offshore wind turbines will be built in the UK and Irish territorial waters at a cost of £100 billion. Belfast Harbour Chairman Len O'Hagan said This initiative, which the harbour has been pursuing for well over a year, has the potential to kickstart Belfast's aspirations to become a leading player in the new green energy revolution. Our expectation is that investment in new offshore wind facilities will help establish a new 21st century renewable cluster. In addition to turbine assembly operations, there may also be opportunities to attract turbine manufacturers to Northern Ireland. And finally, charity Thames 21 are holding a river clean-up next month in the east and west of London at the lowest tide of the year. In the east of the city, the clean-up will take place on the Isle of Dogs, across the river from Greenwich. In the west of the city, it'll take place in Fulham. Please check Edie's water channel for more details and how to get involved. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next month.